Happy to see you. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Srini has joined. In case Srini is joined, just let us know. I'm making pin to few people. The styles. Okay. Okay, fine. So, welcome everyone who has joined from different communities today. This is the initiative we have taken from CTO community, and here we are going to try the bridge the gap actually between the startups and even a student startup, which was done by the many students when I have mostly given as a startup advisor, and we have come up with the idea where we will talk about the startup challenges, and also we are mostly going to call the all the leaders from the different organizations will make this community vibrant, where we will not discuss only the educational part but what we can solve based on the experience. So that is the our focus, and we are just coming with the first topic where actually as a leaders we have seen where people are facing the problems either on the product or pitch or hiring the people. So we have a experts from the different domain. Raghavendra, who is expert on the people management, he is a CHRO, and Bhagsiri, who is a sales leader, and mostly we have, I think Srini is not joined yet, but yeah, he will join soon. So he is and the expert on the product side. So mostly Raghavendra will start from his side, where we will cover on the people perspective why it is important. Vagsiri will cover on the why pitching will be important if we are going for the either fundraising or we are going for the to any investors, right? So that mindset we should have. And once Rini will join, he will be mostly covering on the product innovations part. And then further we will try to add a few questions from the audience, considering panel discussion, everything, if we have a time. So that is the agenda for the today's session. More about the Raghavendra. Raghavendra was leading the next era. Raghavendra, you're there, right? So he has, I think, recently joined Next Era as a CEO, and there obviously he has a, I think, 20-year of experience in business scaling and scaling operation and driving the people success. He began his career with the Net Connect, and also he has worked on the Payling Financial Services. He was heading the CHRO as for the Fidelity, and further he is going to manage the Next Era as a CEO and founder. So Raghavendra, happy to connect here, and we were looking forward for your discussion. Uh, we have a VAG series. He is a seasoned technology leader with a 20 plus year of experience across AI, cybersecurity, cloud, and managed services. She has worked on the STEM, and also she is a passionate mentor for the women. So we are looking forward for Vagsiri to get the insights from your knowledge. Srini, will be joining soon. So for Srini, if I will tell, he is from the Ocpit, and he will join, then we will discuss further. So Raghavendra, you can start, and then maybe Vagsiri, you can start on the lightning talk. We will go with the proper schedule. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Richa, having me here, and as well as all the team member. I think the Saturday, right?
Just interrupt. I think Srini has joined. Srini, if you are here, can you just raise your hand, because I am able to see he has joined.
Yeah, he has joined.
Hello, Srini. He was traveling, but I got to know yesterday night. Okay.
Hello, hi.
Hey,
Hi,
hi.
Bhagyashri. Hi, Richa.
Yes,
Hi,
yes, yes.
Raghavendra. Sorry, I was traveling. My flight got delayed yesterday.
Nice. So yeah, we
I
have
reached
not
home around.
introduced in
Yeah,
very detail, but yeah, you have joined. So yeah, Srini, thank you for joining. So he's a founder and CTO of App Octet, and with the decade of experience, he has built 100+ digital product platform across the industry, and he has helped them to scale on the 0 to 1, like idea to MVP, and 1 to 10 growth and scaling to the next stage, and 10 to 100 products for hyperscale and market dominance. So happy to be, I think, introduced for yourself, and it was pleasure to meet you, I think, here. So Raghavendra is going to start, then you can pitch about the product, and then as a further schedule, Vaksri will talk about the pitch part. Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah,
Over to you, Raghavendra.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Shani. Joining it late also, then it's good having
yeah,
you in the panel. Right, I think Richard given very brief about me. I am having almost 2 decades of experience, being worked with the initially with the NetConnect as a executive, later stages scaling financial, a little bit of financial knowledges, right? From there, I had joined a company called Fidelis Technology, which I am the first employee. From there, I have been scaled up the organization till 3,000 plus headcount, managing the complete hiring, HR, compliances. So that's something very brief about myself, right? So yeah, I've been talking to the people, and whenever I will go ahead through slides to be fine.
Perfectly fine. If you have a deck, it will be useful for the
Right.
share to audience. Yeah.
Okay. Is it visible? Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay. I will go a little further.
You can make on the slides so
Yeah,
much.
I'm trying to.
Maybe you can stop sharing, do to slideshow, and then you can share.
Yeah. Is it?
And yeah, that is fine. Yeah, if you are, we are able to see the slides. That is perfectly fine. Yeah. If you are not able to make, maybe we can go with yeah, this mode also.
Now? Is it? Sorry,
Not in a slideshow mode, but yeah, it is visible. So I think you can go ahead. That is not a problem. If you're able to make
I'm struggling to get something.
F5, you can do F5. Press F5.
Non-technical always have this problem, even though. Okay.
Okay, I think yeah, I'll go with I think that is visible. Raghavendra, I think don't worry on the slide. So because here we want to listen from your experience. That is the thing, and yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. So this, I think Richa, if you can have a present, then it will be good. Till the time I will take it up.
No, no, that is fine. It is visible. It is visible for you.
Second. Okay. So, okay, I think we are going to take care of on the people side, right? The building scalable people practices for startup. So I had given about myself as also brief about what I have been, what was my experience. So that's something which again, I don't want to take up. In the next level, the startup HR reality, right? That's always when people, we have been talking to the people, always we will have a, okay, HR has always been ignored, which I have been seen. That's a common fact which has been, I have been, understood from the people also. Might be many reasons when somebody is starting up. everybody look at on that. Okay, what is my product? How should I get customers and funding? So keeping that in mind, I think we should, being a entrepreneur. If I'm looking at other side of coin as a technology, right? So I definitely I will look at that perspective. But I always empathize. People has to be take care of HR in advance, in initial stage itself, because you are building an organization looking at a longer perspective, which is not a startup and 3 years, then I don't want to be continued and sell it off. No, right? So being a founders or being a entrepreneur as a people, we look at organization wanted to be scale up in a larger extent. To make that happen, definitely people management or the building the culture is most important task, which is I'm a best example where I'm started up as an organization along with the one of person where we have built that culture with the initial stage itself, where my first 8 to 10 hires are very important. It's not only the technology or it's not only the tech person, irrespective of look at on a tech side or non-tech side, but the first 10 hire has to be little bit of choosy when founders are taking the interviews or taking to the board. Cautious, maybe if I say 90% fitment, if I look at the technology side, I need at least 10%. They have to be. Are they going to fit my culture? Are they ready to work with me? Looking at my vision, okay, are they ready to spend what I can say maybe the good time where to scale this organization? There where I wanted to be highlight of this is the very important to look after the high initial 10-15 hires. Please look at on the resources both the angle. One is technology and the second one is the this guy is the right fit for me, and that has to be come up from us being an interviewer. Okay, this guy, that everybody, even though the non-HR also definitely are we know how we will going to suit, but our perspective has to be a little bit of change when we are hiring, right? That would be the one of the very important. And how do we going to be hire the people? What is that? How are we going to make them be more comfortable, right? They're always on the compensation and benefit. That is the most important. How are you going to design? If I get a package of 30 lakh, how are you going to design that 30 lakh, right? So if I'm going to design that 30 lakh, what are the benefit can be covered? So if that benefit is covered, how are you going to explain that resources also? That is also second where area. Okay, ultimately everything on the paper, but ultimately how are we going to make people to be convinced, okay, the benefit, right? That something is one of the area where I always recommend to be cover up. Plus, why ignored? So if it's ignored, then automatically the compensation, if we're not able to we're not able to convince to the people, that ultimately giving a 30 lakh 40 lakh doesn't make sense. So I always try to make people to be understand, okay, if we're getting being HR, always try to give, if somebody is 15 lakh, we will try to close 10 lakh, right? That is where we have been hired, or that has been our work. But at the same time, how are we going to convince people, giving the better convince, and how are we going to make people to be comfortable whatever available? So that we have to be look up. Then secondly, that the startups, if you look at the compliance, is not at all been followed, because I have been attending couple of cases. They have 3 years back they had some problem which is not been solved. They have taken as it is chalega, then we'll see in the future. But unfortunately now they wanted to scale up. That has been hit back from them, right? There's a department has been asking to clarify those areas first, then you can do this. So where I recommend from day one, please ensure the startup or maybe the scaling organization has to be follow the compliance of land of law. Maybe in the state wise we have a different law, but it has to be followed. So I have taken a culture in always in a priority, because that is one of the very much important area where organization can be built bigger or maybe the brighter, provided our fitment of whatever resources has to be within a culture what we are going to be create. Being an entrepreneur, definitely I have a vision. Okay, I have to have this much of millions of organization, but having a right resource only can be achieved. So that is the one area I have to, wanted to be get the people to be understood, right? So the practical advice is where, the CTOs especially, right? CTO is not only, and tech leaders, you are not just technology head. You are a business decision maker. Every system you design, every hire you make, every process you back influences whether the company can scale. So as I mentioned in a previously, so the CTOs nowadays, not only the technology firm, they are the business leaders. Whomsoever maybe everybody except in the the overall audience or taking. The earlier CTOs are only the technology guys. Okay, some business used to get a business. Okay, delivery has to look of the technology team. But now it's a completely changed. Everybody has to look at on the business model and how. Okay, if I'm building some tech platform, whether it can be scalable. Again, this is a business thinking, right? So how I should be able to scale this product for the larger extent. So these are all areas where I think CTO has to be take care, and based on that only we can able to scale this or maybe on the organization. As I told you, 10 to 15 hires are very important. Strategically deciding on the how I can able to make this with this team I can able to achieve. And I think we should the leverage the HR tech and the AI on early days. It makes our recruitment, onboarding, engagement, and then only it is a scalable. As a most importantly, a founder and CTO are the leadership has to be very empathized to make it as a business growth. So if that is can be able to do, then only we can able to succeed. So as a HR, what I can say is, if a CTO also part of 15% as a HR decisions can be taken, so then it will come as a, if I'm looking at I'm HR, so then my 85% job is at least I have done 15% job initially. It is. So while hiring, while screening, we should look after. That is also one of the important area where people can get the right people on the board. So why we have to have a, and how we can have a day get up from day one as a startup, right? Hiring with clarity. The first 10 hires shape your company DNA, define the roles, onboard them well, and give them a purpose. I think all founders has their own purpose, right? if I say next year I have my own purpose where I know what is my purpose, how I have to build it. I am trying to make my initially 50 people has to be know what is the purpose. So then only they can able to give their 100% to organization, right? And payroll and compliance discipline, which these are all backend activity, which is not able to, nobody's seen this, right? So maybe the always look at the second stage of organization growth, but I recommend and insist initially the payroll and compliance is very important. Paying our salaries on time, staying compliant with the builds trust from the employees, as well as confidence of investor. I think Vaishya will take care of that. That is the role when I'm doing the audit, when M&A, right? So those kind of those times, these are all matters will they are looking at on the investor side before proceeding. The culture as a foundation. It is not only the organization. Wherever, if I say the home, anywhere, the culture is very important. Where it has to be built. What we are looking at, I think the way founders speak and culture. If you value ownership, transparency, or collaboration, this will help to make people to grow. Right? Maybe the people to or maybe the organization to grow. Processes and scale where it's not just like the tools which we are going to use. It is something where we are making a process where the concerns should not be ignored. It is maybe the financial, non-financial. Being HR, we will as a play. The HR will play a very important role. If small issues might looks like as a founder say it can be ignored, but as a individual, as a employee, that is very important. How are we going to address their concerns also? So I don't want to take much, but at the same time, where totally my sum up is where HR is not about the forms or penalties. It's about trust, culture, and scalability. If you invest in a right people practices early, your teams won't just execute, they grow with you. That's exactly what we as an Exera we wanted to be, believe on that together towards tomorrow to enable founders and leaders to focus scaling their business. So while we ensure their teams thrive on the foundation of strong HR practices. So overall intention is where here I wanted to mention startup or the growing organization, we should give our focus on the HR perspective where it is important when you are looking at your scale level in the future. It might be investment or it might be without investment also. You want to grow yourself or to take a funding from the bankers. Definitely this will be going to be pre-audit, which we used to do for audit on the one of the large consulting firm where these are all checklist. If it is not followed, then there's a due date for every. It might be salary, then compliances. If you're not followed that, look at now. I may be 10 people. I am okay to ignore. But when I wanted 100 people, if I really wanted to come back and correct this, no, it is not possible. That red alert always there. That will be look after because the fundraiser definitely they will go to check how you are from day one. So I recommend and insist everyone please go with the right culture, hiring the right culture people, follow the proper compliances, whatever is being asked on the state laws, and ensure your organization follow that and grow so that startup tomorrow is a growing organization. After some years, it will be the growing organization and where your the scalability still easy for to take it. I think this is something which I wanted to be convey all the stakeholder who is the decision makers here. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghavendra. I think it was such a nice presentation, but I will not leave you after. I think continue. We have a panel discussion and where we will try to capture a few open points, which is mostly startups are facing problem. So now over to Srini, who is going to go on the deep dive on the product part. So over to you, Srini. Yeah, looking forward for your presentation.
All right, Raghavendra, that was a insightful session. I mean, the way you have spoken about hiring the right people at the right time, as well as aligning them to the goal of the company is very important, and how the whole, you can say, the CTO should have the role in hiring is very important. Absolutely right about it. So I'll just take it forward from that, okay? And that is something that we start with, right? Any startup start with people, right? Now, those people only create or build world-class products, right? And that is very important to have that kind of, you can say, sports mentality wherein you are coming together and building something, right? And achieving something. And that goes long way. So I'll just take it forward from that, okay? And once the people are coming together and forming a team, and the next step is to build a product, right? And that is what I'll be talking about now, okay? So just give me a second so that I can share my screen and share it to you. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, it's visible. Maybe you can minimize or close. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So for any startup, right? I mean, product or the services, whatever they're offering, right? It is very important for them to understand, I mean, what exactly they're trying to solve a problem, right? Because what happens is there are many things which we can build, right? But it is very important to understand what we are building for and what is the exact problem you're solving, so that the user, the customer, and the client should get the value out of it, right? And that is very important in any of these startups. So my journey has been building the products for all of these stages of the startups, right? I've worked with these startups who are into or were into maybe in the MVP stage, wherein they were just thinking about the idea, and that idea is turning into the product. Okay, from there on, building the product and growing it to the another next level, and then hyperscale. So I've worked with a lot of different companies, okay, in India and around the world, okay, and working closely with them and building the product for them and scaling them. So, okay, so my experience I'll share with you. So overall, what I see that whoever is starting up or they are into startup, they should know how the journey should look like and will look like, okay, and what they should be doing in every stages, okay, for the product and the technology, right? So I'll start with that. So I want to summarize the startup stages for you all so that you will know how the startup grows, right? The startup has three major stages, which is 0 to 1, 1 to 10, and 10 to 100. Okay. So 0 to 1, which says that you have currently at the zero state, you have only idea, right? Now something has to come out of it, right? Which is the one. So one state is something that you say about the product is built, right? Or something, the minimum viable product. Okay. So what that stage looks like. So it is a spot of problems. Okay. What exactly you're trying to solve, right? It can be anything. For example, Zomato has solved the delivery problem, right? The food was not available, okay, online, and he made sure that that is happening now, correct? So spotting the problem was very important. Look at the Zomato where it is. Now, similarly, the Zero has the same thing, right? They have spotted the problem about making sure that the online trading is happening, right? But nobody was having that option before that, correct? They had the similar other brokers, right? And they were doing everything manually, right? So spotting a problem, and maybe you can say that not just spotting a problem, okay, but understanding and realizing that this can be a problem is also one of the case. So 0 to 1 is all about that. And then building around that is something that we'll be focusing on. So startups who are in this stage are focusing on this only. Okay, so where they're finding the PMF, which is the product market fit. Okay, so validating the problem and the product is also very important. So that is what we'll be doing in the stage 0 to 1. Okay, so say stage 1 to 10 is something that now you have built your product, okay, or the MVP. Now you have already, maybe you can say that, found the problem when which has a solution now. But again, whether it can grow and can turn into business and can reach the wider audience is also very important. So now in 1 to 10, you will be focusing on that. Okay. And that happens when you have that confidence that, okay, now my MVP is built. Now we have found the PMF. Okay. Now it is time for the growth. Okay. So there you start building a team. You start hiring experts in every field, be it sales, marketing, technology, product, etc. And then you go out in the market and sell to those people who have already you have identified, right? And increase the value for that user. So it becomes a repeatable, you can say, revenue for you, right? And now you have that confidence to go into the next stage, which is stage 10 to 100. Okay, so stage 10 to 100 is where you think about the scale, okay, which is hyper scale. Now you are raising a lot of funds and you're raising a lot of fund, and then at the same time you are increasing the value to the user, correct, and reaching the wider audience now. Okay, it can be multi-region, it can be multi-vertical. So Zomato is one of the case wherein they are expanding to that level that they have the Blinkit now, right? The way they have pivoted it. So at the same time, Swiggy is doing the same thing, correct? So that level of expansion is something that you come in that stage, okay, right? So for every stage, the problem statement will be different. Okay. So what are the challenges, startup phases? Okay. In majorly in these three areas, which is the product, tech, and team, right? So in 0 to 1, what exactly a startup should be doing it? Okay. So in 0 to 1 stage, identifying a problem worth solving is very important, right? Now we are not picking all those features, or maybe we are just building something not anyone can buy. Instead of doing that, we need to find the exact problem which we are solving, correct? So that is very important. And then identifying those users and talking to them is also one of the cases we should be taking in the idea to MFM stage, which is 0 to 1 stage. Okay, once you have identified, once you understand that real user actually having that pain, right, and it is worth solving, now you build a small prototype or MVP around that, so that the user can start using it and give us a feedback, right? So it is very important for us in 0 to 1 stage that how to you can say test your idea in the PMF stage. Okay, so here what startups should be focusing on is the must-haves, not the nice-to-have, that we need this feature and that feature. Okay, so we're not looking for the feature, we're looking for something that we can have must-have for the user. Okay, and that is worth solving for them. Okay, and it becomes a life for them, because without which users or the customers, okay, will not leave. That is something that we need to focus on in the idea PMF stage. Okay, and many a time what happens is founders and startup who are in the 0 to 1 stage, right? So they get into the analysis paralysis. Okay, what they start doing is, okay, this is the feature we'll be giving to the users. and that is the feature we'll be giving to the users. Okay, let's add this as well, that as well. So in this process, okay, what happens is you are over engineering thing. At the same time, you're thinking that, okay, user might like it. Instead of doing that, I think you already have the option to validate that with the users, right? And then you quickly build and launch it so that you get the feedback, okay, without delaying your, you can say, the go to market. Okay, that is very important, because unless and until you build the product and give it in the hands of the user, you will not know how exactly that product will function, okay, and how it is exactly having the engagement in that, right? So that is very important. The product stage is very important, okay, and in the tech, it is very important to understand that lean stack, it should be lean stack, okay. It should not be the case that you are over engineering and you are maybe doing a lot of coding there, okay, and you are doing a lot of you can say designing there, okay, you're wasting the time there, okay. So what we need to do is speed at this stage is very important. Otherwise what would happen is the users, okay, they have the problem but you're not solving for them, correct? So keeping the tech minimal is very important. So focusing on a clean stack, okay, and the code should be very flexible enough so that if at all, if you want to change something, it should be very flexible to do that, okay. And that is something that you will get it once you start getting the feedback from the users, right? So this is very important for every startup to understand. You need to avoid over engineering, TK, premature scaling, okay. And at the same time, what is your goal for the idea to PMF stage is that you need to cater to at least first 100 customer or the users, okay. That should be your goal, not 1 lakh user you are catering to it at this stage, okay. That will be maybe overestimation for you, okay. Otherwise you will get into the analysis paralysis. So that is something that I've seen. I've worked with founders, I've worked with those startups who are there in this stage, okay, and I've seen it many a time that they get into this situation, okay. So this is the framework I think we suggest them, okay, to go with, okay. Then comes the stage 1 to 10. Now you have identified the problem. Now you have validated your users as well as your MVP, right? And it is ready to go into the market, which is already there in the market, which was in a pilot stage. Now it is time to grow, right? So that this single idea which you had come up with and the product which you have just built, okay, can grow. Okay. So that is something is very important for us to understand at the product level what startups should be focusing on when they are in the stage. Okay. So focus should be on establishing the repeatable sales and onboarding, because now we've understood that it is working fine for you and the user are loving it. But can the wider audience love it is the question. And it should come as a repeat customer. That is very important. If that is happening, that means that you are on the right track. Okay. At the same time, at this stage, we have seen it wherein founders and the startups, they get into the features development. Okay, the features should be only based on the data which they have gathered in stage 0 to 1, right? While testing the idea, because you get a lot of feedback from the users, right? It should not be the case that one day I have just realized, okay, so this is the feature I need to give it to the user, but user might not even, you can say, react to it, right? Because maybe he doesn't need that. Once you have the data that these are the people actually looking at these kind of feature in our services or the product, right? You need to give them that product on their hand at this stage. That is something we should be focusing on, okay? And second best thing is about, we need to have the analytics somewhere wherein you can track the overall engagement of the users and the customer, how they are behaving in, so that you know what your next feature would be. Okay, and that is something that we need to set up in this team. Okay. Then customer support as a part of product is very important at this stage, because you need to be in continuous touch with the customer or the user to get a feedback. Okay, how things are working, how things are not working, or where they are facing challenges, right? And what are the features they might be looking for, right? And whether the solution which we are providing, okay, in the form of product is actually solving their problem or not, and what exact other problems you might have, right? So these are the things we need to be focusing on in the stage to 1 journey, 1 to 10 journey about the product. Okay, and how does the tech look like in that journey is very important. Okay, so we had developed the MVP. So many a time what happens is D2C founders, what they do is they start the company and the website on the Shopify, right? Because that is very easy to build the web store, okay, in a single click of button, right? So they start with that, then it's okay. But at the time of scaling, right, at this stage, it start to break because now you have a lot of customer coming in, right? It is working fine for you, but at the same time, for the scale, right, there are a lot of customization required, and Shopify doesn't allow that level of customization, right? Okay, so these kind of you can say problems arises, okay, when you don't have a right person, okay, beside you to guide you for that, okay, and this actually creates a problem, okay, and then you have to break that product again. So you're doing everything at the same time. The technical debt keeps on rising for this, okay. So this is very important that startups who are in this stage, which is 1 to 10 stage, should be focusing on whatever we have built so far in the MVP. Now let's make it a solid foundation, okay, so that it can scale in the next stage, okay. Focusing on the scalability is very important. Building tech team, hiring a tech expert is very important, right? So as Raghavendra rightly said, hiring right people is very important. So in this stage also, now you have validated everything. This is the stage where you're growing, right? You can't you can't get away with the performance and the efficiency of your team, right? Because there is a demand and supply, right? And demand is increasing now, but your supply should also cater to that, to support that, right? So you need somebody who can take care of this. So hiring a specialist at this stage is very important, okay? So you can hire front end, back end, all of those experienced people. If you required, it's very important. You need to hire the fractional CTO if you are in a tech business. And this has become the foundation of all of the stages of the company, that you need to have there somebody who understands the tech, okay? Or you can internally hire it, but hiring at this stage internally, it is expensive, you can say, affair, right? So you can hire fractional CTO or the CPO who can guide you, okay, in this stage, okay. And now, since you have validated, now you have a lot of customer, you have already established demand generation. At the same time, now you have the you can say advocates, right, who are actually in the market, okay, spreading your products in a word of mouth manner as well, okay. So there are many mechanisms to also to cater to different markets. In that case, you need a go-to-market strategy as well. So because your product now has that potential that you have already seen, okay. So there are different mechanisms which we can come up with. It can be marketing your product now to the any other channel. It can be online channel, offline channel. Zomato is the best case, right? You have been seeing their advertisement, okay, and their memes marketing as well, right? It is working from them. So this is how one should be focusing on when you are in the stage, okay, and that is how the product, tech, and the team will work. And here your goal should be getting the paying customers now, okay, not something that is it hunky dory kind of a thing wherein you're just giving it for free, right? Because once you have that paying customer, it tells you that how people serious about your product, right? And it is actually generating the repeatable revenue for you, correct? So that is how we should be planning in the 1 to 10 journey, okay. Now comes the 10 to 100 journey, which is a kind of, you can say, the scale and dominance, right? I mean, now you have achieved everything. You have the demand, you have the supply, right? You already have the brand reputation, okay? Now there is a need for the scale and dominance. And in scale and dominance, what happens is there are a lot of things going on, okay? You have maybe millions of users using it, right? You have a lot of demand, right? So now you can do one thing, is that how we can sustain that is very important, retain the customer, correct, to that level that it becomes your maybe a loyal customer for the lifetime, right? So Zerodha, Zomato, Zoho, right? Paytm, Google Pay, Google Maps, all of these are product, right? We have certain level of attachment with them, right? WhatsApp, right? So all of these products, somewhere they have this scale and dominance. So what they try to do is they create something around it in a experimentation state wherein they are coming up with a new feature. Now they have the data with them, correct? So they have the data, they're building the feature for them. Now it is time to scale. When you start scaling, you have the option of maybe coming up with multi-market fit new verticals, right? Now Zomato has come up with the Blinkit, right? Which is completely different, you can say, app itself, which is catering to the quick commerce, which is completely different from the Zomato's food delivery, right? So this is the scale and dominance is we are talking about. Here we also talk about pivoting. If something is not working, you come up with the pivots as well, because by then you have already established player in the market, right? Now it is a question of existence, okay. So when you are in the stage, you should be focusing on product, okay. The product and the tech is very important for you, okay. So product mein, you can think about experimentation with a different mechanism. Okay, there are a lot of features you can come up with here, and a different problem statement which you already solved, which can actually help them, right? And you now focusing more on the branding and the ecosystem play, right? Because now the way Zomato has created the ecosystem, now you will see there are a lot of competitors coming up now, right? Swiggy, you have Zepto and whatnot, right? So this is the scale, this is the stage where you should be focusing on something which can help you in this scale. Tech, tech is something that by the time you reach here, you have millions of users using it, you have the market dominance, right? Now you need to have that strong tech as well, right? Which can handle all those load. Okay, so now your focus should be on the scalable infra, security and compliances, because now regulatory will also start looking at you now, right? Okay, team, when you talk about team at this stage, okay, so this is very important that now the challenge is very different. The challenge were there in the 0 to 1 and 1 to 10 was not as compared to what you have right now here, because this is something that more of ownership and the responsibility comes on the play, right? So now you need somebody who can take the ownership, which is a CPO, CTO, architect, senior PMs, right? You can also have CMOs, etc. Okay, so this is something that in a product and the tech, somebody should be looking at when you are in the stage. Okay, goal is very simple now: market leadership and expand to the new region. Okay, so this is how the whole the journey looks like for the startup in the product and the tech, and how the product evolves over time, and what are the things you will start seeing in the different stages, and that's how we can plan. Okay, in the every stage, what are the things I need to be taking care of before I get into the stage. Okay, this is my experience so far. Okay, which I've tried to maybe put in a single slide, but anyway, I believe that I was able to explain it to you and something that you can take it forward.
Yes,
Okay,
I
and
think.
yeah. So I think once you have that everything, and so there are different stages of the funding as well, which you can opt for. Okay, so these are the stages for your product growth as well, and the services as well, which you can take a look at it. Okay, I'll share the slide with you if you like it. And these are some of the inspiration from our country, right? Who has been building the product, and all of them are successful, right? So some of them have the bootstrap option, so they have done it without any external funding. Others had the option for the going for the investment, so they have done it. But anyway, both of them are doing a fantabulous job for them, right? And for the country, and the way they are creating the product, we have become maybe addicted to them now, right? Without Zerodha, without Zomato, without Flipkart, we are nobody, right? That is how they have changed our life, correct? And so this is the last slide, which I would like you to see, so that when you once you leave the meeting, so that it will stay with you, because all of the startup founder need to know this, that products to measure is not download of the feature, it is how deeply it changes users life, right? Correct. And that is how the overall goal should be. Okay, so I just pass on to Richa now. I hope it helped you out. Richa, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you. Have covered very well. Am I audible?
Yeah, Richa.
Yeah. Maybe Prashant, in case I'm going in mute, as a co-host, you can pitch in. There is some glitch. So, Srini,
Sure, sure.
yeah, it's a great presentation where you have covered 0 to 1, 1 to 100, and how to go with multiple user, right? So it was a great
Yeah,
insights. I hope it will be helpful. So as I think it is interesting, Raghavendra has covered people thing, how as a even not employee, but even you are going to choose the co-founder even, right? Or the
yeah,
first people, that is very important. And once you are going to create the MVP or further scaling there, even people will come and your idea will come. But what about the market, like what you have covered in the last slide, right, where you have to
yeah.
scale in the market and go on the pitch. So Vagsiri, I think over to you, where we are looking forward to learn from your experience, like how to scale on the market, because that is the thing most of the startup fails, right, in the earlier years. So that is the very important steps, considering the architecture people, but yeah, sales and marketing is also equally important to reach the customer and reach the correct customer, I would say. So Bhagsiri, yeah, over to you. You can start. You are in mute. No, it's fine. Yeah, you can keep on slide mode.
Yeah, I'm doing that. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
I think.
fine, right?
Right.
You can see, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's fine. You can keep on the slide mode if it is possible. Just check. I don't know why it was there, but yeah, you can click on the F5 and maybe slideshow mode.
So screen is shared. You have to go to presentation.
Yes. Yeah. You click on F5.
And there is a button on the bottom. There is slider you see in the right bottom.
okay. No, here.
Here. Where your mouse will come to left side, the first icon. Left. Come one more, little more. Yeah, first this icon. Yeah, this one. Come down. Down. Yeah, this one.
No, actually, Pradeep, sometimes what's happened once you are sharing, you will not able to see the icon. I think that
No,
is the
in
bad.
Zoom, yeah, this Google
Yeah,
Meet,
this
I
one.
face
This.
the issue.
Just before slider. Just before slider. That minus sign is there. There is an icon.
Where did you saw, Pradeep?
No,
Uh,
she will not able to see. So anyway, I think let's start. This problem, I think few people are facing in the certain laptop. I don't know why. I think yeah,
Okay,
it's okay.
so so yeah, so with the glitch it's starting, but it's okay. And thanks Richa and CTO community giving me this opportunity to uh, be with all you distinguished part of the distinguished panel, and really enlightening to have the insights from Raghavendra and Srini. And I could resonate with whatever they have said so far, because I come from sales side, right? And I have worked across the industries. I work with across the LOBs, across the organization. So all the pain points and insights which you have shared, I can closely resonate with you. Now the pitch comes in. Even though some of the startups names you mentioned, Srini, they were my customers, some part of my journey. And I
Okay.
know how that journey was, right? So pitch really matters. What you are saying, how you are pitching in, right? So pitch is not depends on how many slides you have in your deck. It may be 2 slides, as Srini had, as Raghavendra had, hardly 3 slides, but they communicated what they want to communicate, and they created the impact, and we have the insights to take away with us. So it doesn't matter how many slides you have, but what you are communicating, right? So that's my first thing to when you start the winning pitch writing. I'll go this way. What? It is not going to another slide for me?
We are able to see.
Okay, can you
You
see?
can go to next maybe.
Okay, can you see another? Say next one.
No, not till now.
So use arrow button. I think
Yeah, arrow button you can use.
arrow button use it. It will
Okay.
down arrow button.
It's not functioning for me.
Don't wonder, I will cut this part back, Siri, but yeah, you can continue with your pitch. Maybe if you were able to share again and
No, but it will not go to another slide, no?
okay.
You will take the control. I'll speak, that's fine.
Okay, let me just see. Yeah, you can continue. Let me just check. Yeah, download your slides.
Yeah. So it's again, as I rightly said, number of decks or slides doesn't matter, right? it's like because these days funding doesn't happen that easily, because investors are very cautious. They choose quality over quantity, right? You must have seen the Zoho way, how they focus on the profitability and how they are going to expand in the market. And that's the way that helped them, instead of chasing the huge valuation or massive valuations, they were more focused on the profitability and how their product is going to fit the market. Because that is very important. What is the customer problem you are solving, right? And that's the way you built up the I'll say genuine value for your product, and that's the way you survive. It doesn't vanity metrize you have put this X number and will meet the Y number, and that's the way you will put the quality as well. So that's very important, how you are projecting your value to them. So when you create the narrative for your pitch, there are 4 problems. As Srini mentioned, right? Between 0 to 10 journey, your problem statement is very important. How you identify the pain point, right? So pain point, as if he said, how Zero the identified the pain point, and then how they mitigate that pain point in the POC phase. They take the feedback, right? And that's a way solution. In the solution, they create the value. I'm bringing this value, and this will help. And then what is the revenue model you are coming up with? How you are monetizing? How you are having the repeat business coming in, because that plays very vital role when you are doing the revenue projection, when you are giving the growth projections to the investor. And when you say that, I will have the XYZ revenue now, and I will scale up to XYZ revenue. So that time you should have the how you will scale up, how will have your backend or system will be ready. But at times when you do that pitch, it is not required you should have that system ready that time itself. It may be possible you may have to give those hypothetical how we will scale up, but you should have the backup for that. So as we have seen, Srini mentioned the Paytm story, right? How they scale up. So strategic partnerships are very important these days. As we say, collaboration is in need of an hour, whether it's a technology, whether it's a business. If we don't collaborate with your partners, way Flipkart has scaled up. They've collaborated with the WS Retail, and that helped them in the market expansion, because you don't have to invest everywhere. That has to be a strategic partnership, has to be mutually benefited, right? Where Paytm has collaborated with all the banks across India, right? So you have that scalability, that flexibility, and you are addressing the customer's problem also. If you go remotest area also, because they are connected with PSUs, private banks, so you don't have to worry about whether my transaction will fail, subject to the network availability or other glitches, but it works, right? And that's the way you create the double value for your investors. And it doesn't happen. It's just both the partners has to come on the value proposition on that. So that is very important. And you don't drain the resources. When you do that, you have the resources on your availability. You don't have to drain your resources. So that plays very vital role when you have this planning in place. And matrices, which matters to the investor, I must say, because we come from the sales, right? So how investor will look at that? Because as Srini also mentioned, one of the last statement, right? It doesn't matter how many downloads you have done, but how many active users you have, because that gives you the revenue share coming in on regular basis. And that's your, I'll say, loyal customer. And that's the basic foundation of any organization, especially for startups. It plays very vital role, because investors looks at very pivotal role on that, how you have that as of now to begin with. So one of the founder was asked, how many downloads you have? So he said, I have 1 million downloads. But then investor asked, how many active users you have? So there was a silence. So in that case, startups need to focus on what is your retention rate. How many users stay engaged with your product? Because that plays very vital role. If it's 70% or around that, so that gives you edge over the competition per se. Then customer acquisition ratio, what is you have? It's 30% something, lower customer acquisition cost, because again, you are retaining your customers, so that definitely reduces your customer acquisition cost. So that plays again vital role. And double lifetime value, right? How the growth is happening, how you are expanding. As Srini gave the example of Zomato, how they have put in the Blinkit to grow and have that expansion coming. So what is the vision or what is the future plan you have, or how you are planning for that? So have these parameters in place, that helps.
Baxity, just interrupt. Can you just let me know if slide was visible to you?
1 minute.
I'm sharing my slide. Just let
Yeah,
me know
now it's visible to me.
which slide you want to go. Just let me know.
Um,
This is fine.
yeah, narrative. Yeah, go. Resilience and agility. You go on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So as of all of you know, now Airbnb is the very favorite brand for all of us when we travel. I myself travel a lot. I used to solo traveler, so I prefer Airbnb. It's very comfortable and having different experience coming in. So 2008, Airbnb started. Hardly there was investors interested in investing in the startup, right? But this prefer to be stayed there because they used to believe in what vision or what solution they are looking for and how they are going to benefit to the customer. So what they keep on doing, they keep on changing their strategy, depends on market feedback. As Srini said, right? Customer feedback is very important when you started exploring your product with the customer feedback. So Airbnb started evolving with the customer market feedback continuously. And in that case, what they do, they deliver cereal boxes also, because that time they didn't have funds, right? So they have to evolve, they have to keep going. So they build the resiliency, right? And that's the way they were there. And what that helped them, Y Combinator gave them the backing, gave them the funds, and that helped their Airbnb is today. So that's the way we have to build resiliency and agility. We don't have to give up. When failures happen or some obstacles come in, so we have to overcome those obstacles or failures. So that's a very basic of the startup systems, I must say. And I have seen a lot of startups doing that and getting over all that. Risha, next slide. Yeah. So building your investor narrative, there are 4 basic, I'll say, fundamentals, right? As you say, clear market size. Because every industry has some growth happening. You will have certain data points, right? So when you give the investors market size, what is the market size you are planning, how you are reaching out to them. So give them the proper statistic data proven by or whatever, as you said, customer feedback, your growth statistic, give that. That gives them the confidence, right? Because your product is that when you give the statistics, you're telling the investor why they should use your product, why now and why you, because that makes the compulsory statement for them. Then repeatable sales model, because again, more the repeatable sales model you have, more the confidence investor has, because the investor knows you have created the value, and definitely a customer is not going to go, they will come back to you, and that will have the more growth coming in. Then unit of economics, right? There is a particular path to profitability, and that happens with the sustainable fundamentals. As Raghavendra mentioned, as Srini mentioned, there are fundamentals if it's strong, like as you said, your processes, your people, so they know that growth will be sustainable. It is not happening all of a sudden, it is happening, it will be consistent. So that's again another important measure to have that narrative become more stronger. And strategic partnership, as I said before, because what happens, they know that the vision, you have that vision, right? Whom do I collaborate with? So that growth is, I'll say, visible, and they see you have the vision for your growth as well. Next slide, Richa. And 3 pillars of, I'll say, 3 pillars of your narration as well, right? Trust is very important. How you build the trust. It's your transparent communication, basically, because initially it is a founder, right? So whatever founder is communicating or whatever he's building up the policies in his organization, that shows how trustworthy he is. Because investment is always fund, right? It's money. So that's a basic thing need to be taken care of. And traction. Again, how you are going the revenue. going to grow the revenue, how you are going to be resilient in that transaction while that is growth is going to happen, because there will be hiccups, right? But nothing is smooth and easy when you do or when you build up something. So that has to be, and how agile you will be in this journey. So that another thing has to be. Then again, tenacity, as I mentioned, and how you grow your customers as well, right? Revenue wise, what is the measurable market validations, right? When you are growing, so which segment you are targeting, what are those segments which you are targeting, are they relatable to the growth? So all these parameters you put in across, so that makes compelling statement for the investors. Yeah, next slide, Richa. So investor checklist, right? Build, learn, and adopt. As Srini said, right? We build the product. When we build the product, so we are addressing some pain point, which is useful to the customer. So when it is useful to the customer will like to use it, right? And how you will learn then? Because when you learn, you need to be, I'll say, you have to fall back very fast, right? Failures will be there, but how fast you learn from these failures? You can't able, you are not affordable to give up on the failures. So how quick you learn from those failures and adapt, because when you quickly learn, so how that implement your system, processes, whole hierarchy per se, right? And you don't divert away from your core vision. Suppose I say ki Zomato's vision is like, I'll have the food delivery done within 10 seconds, 15 seconds, however. So whenever failures happen, some changes happens, am I going to move away from that, my customer experience, or what my narrative vision was there? So we should, as a startup founder, we should not move away. As a startup, we should not move away when this failures happens or some hiccups happens. So we need to stay there. So these basic fundamentals plays a vital role when you prepare that bit. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so rewrite your story. Why did I say? Because it's very easy to say, but when you write down those points, make those presentation decks, and you stand in front of the investor, and when you have to answer these difficult questions, Srini must have gone through that because he's related and work in the various startup founders, right? So he knows how it goes. So the resiliency and customer law, you don't find as of now coming in your pitch. So make it sure how will rewrite that, because that plays very vital role. Because if they know if there is a customer love is there for your product and you are resilient, you can adapt and you can bounce back, right? So that gives the confidence to the investor, and at the same time, it makes your narrative very impactful. So if it's not there, really work on that. And always keep in mind, pitching is not about the investor or getting investment. It is you are creating the believers. If they believe in your concept and they find you trustworthy, there is a tenacity is there, and all these basic factors comes in, you are creating the believer and they will invest in you. They will not go anywhere. So creating that belief through your day is very important. So I believe all of us can create that pitch because we come from the industry and we know these nuances, right? So we are here there to support, to create that winning pitch. Thank you.
I think thank you to you, Vagsiri. I think you have just given the correct example. Your pitch is not just about the slides, but it's a story of trust, traction, and tenacity, right? So that is the important how you have covered even now, right? Because that's what we are even looking, because this is the problem sometimes even as a startup we face whenever we are going to pitch somewhere. Some technical glitch can also come, right? That is the real example sometimes we cover, but how you overcome with confident, right? With your intentions and you with for your product idea, right? That is very important. So that is the important point. I think we can close the lightning sessions, but yeah, we can go for the panel discussions. And Raghavendra, are you still there with us?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Yes. Okay, Bhagsri, can you come on the video if possible? And
Yeah, I'm on
Srini,
video.
She's already there.
I'm already there.
is it so you were sharing somewhere screen?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Now I think, let me check. Meanwhile, anyone has a question, just keep. I am just getting Bhagsri on the our viewer thing.
I have a question. This is Prashant here. Uh, yes, I am seeing a lot of co-founder related openings these days in LinkedIn or any job related portals. So I have a question. I have done my CTO program from IIT Kanpur, and let's say I want to apply for this co-founder, or somebody has approached me. Why don't you join us as a co-founder? Now, how do how do I know whether this startup is like good for me? Are there any like set of points or rules which I have to consider before joining that as a co-founder? Because once I say yes to that, there are so many legal implications that come into, because I joined there as a co-founder, and everything will be like registered under government rules and regulations. So I'll not be able to come out of these things saying that no, I don't want to continue as a co-founder, I'm quitting. So that doesn't happen, not like a regular employee. So are there any pointers that you would like to suggest in this scenario?
So the question I can take up with the people centric, right? If I wanted to, because
Sure.
I don't know the product,
Sure,
but if I
Ravindra, thanks for
people
that.
centric, definitely, this is a very, while choosing any of the journey, right? You are joining it's just not an employment, just join and leave. It is not. It is that age is already gone, right? So while choosing this maybe the team, the co-founder along with the founder, you should be ensuring that, and maybe you should have to do some background of the the organization, definitely, because looking at along it, as I told you, HR is not only as a people hiring people, joining the people, but is this the compliant? Because tomorrow you should not be under the situation where, okay, this organization may not able to right fit for you, right? On the people centric standpoint, and how the culture is being built, whether that culture is going to be, you are able to adapt. So everything has to be changed. Maybe each organization have a different culture, but Prashant can adopt that culture. So that's something which you have to be, think, keep, full thought. Those where maybe, you can go back and check on that, how exactly is in functioning happening. And based on that, I recommend to choose, because these are all experiences which we had seen only along with the employment on the founder side also, right? When I'm choosing my person, then definitely I'm looking at, okay, is this Prashant is right fit for me? But I'm at the expectation. Prashant also looking at me the same, whether am I joining Raghavendra is right fit for me to take my journey for the longer. So I personally feel one is what system says or the data says. The second one is what, as a people centric, the emotions also matter for it. So this is a journey to be choose. Look at on the both the side of the organization, and I think select that something is important.
Thanks, Ravindra.
Thank you, Raghavendra. I think Srini, you are still there. Okay, maybe he is, I think, switch off the camera. Okay, so I think
I'm here only.
yeah. I think if anyone is switching off the video, there was, I think, in my side some problem. I'm not able to recognize them. Yeah, so we are moving towards the panel discussions around this topic, people, pitch, and product. So first question is with you, Srini. Still, I think you are there only. So how you are deciding between the speed of innovations versus the scalable architecture, considering that nowadays how AI is growing, right? Day to day,
Correct.
we have a lot of innovations. So what is your thoughts for that speed of innovations? How it is going to change the startups?
Definitely. I think, see, the way the technology has evolved in over a decade, right? I mean, it is coming from, you can say, the laptops to mobile phones to now we have something that we are wearing everything. And at the same time, the way it has taken to the AI, right? Okay. The way of doing things have changed completely, right? And specifically in our product and tech world, it has changed so drastically, right? You have so many tools around you, right, to test it. Okay. So earlier, the learning curve used to be 18 months, right? In 18 months, the technology used to change. Okay, it came down to 6 months. Now in the AI age, it is just 3 days, right? Every day you are coming up with the new AI tools, correct? At the same time, it empowers you, okay, as a startup founder to build and test your ideas quickly. Okay, so you have a multiple tools out there, right? You have a Lovable, you have Replit. There are a lot of tools out there already, correct? So what you can do is, instead of going through the traditional method, you can adopt those AI tools, okay, and test your idea, build your MVP in just fraction of, you can say, a day or two, right, and test it. At the same time, once that is done, then you can start focusing on the scalability, right? It cannot go together, to be very honest, right? Because scalability is a long-term journey, not the day one or the one day. Okay. So, but at the same time, you have to focus on that as well. Okay. The speed, I would always prefer speed when you are in the 0 to 1 stage. Okay. So when you are in the 0 to 1 stage, that means you are in a startup. Still, you are testing your idea. In that case, you need to utilize whatever the tools available, okay, in the market, and then utilize them, build it, okay, iterate it, and just you can say create a go-to-market strategy and test the product. That is something I would say. So always keep speed ahead of it when you are in the startup stage of the 0 to 1.
Okay. Second questions, I think with Raghavendra. So if we are moving with the speed of innovations as a hiring team, how we will balance the hiring for the skills versus hiring for the culture fit?
Yeah. So these are two ways which we have to look at, and definitely as a business plan, if I look at an Srini, definitely we will be having that. Okay, what are those skill set what we are going to be hire, right? If I do have a new skill, again we will get to the old skill, nano vanilla skill, niche skill. So when choosing the right resource, definitely with the current business also important along with the culture. I cannot see as a culture only is important, no culture along with the culture. If I at least I should be able to manage that with the 90-10%. Right? Initially, the technology is most important to drive the business. If that is there, everything will build. But at the same time, choosing that with this, we should have at least 90-10 ratio where the hiring team can plan well in advance to get and have a discussion in detail where the fitment of that resource for the organization along with the journey of the organization to grow. So I think that's something is needed where adopting the new areas of shortlisting nowadays, everybody talk on the AI, right? So we as an organization has also been talking to the AI, how should be able to make ourselves to be different in the market. And every day we cannot go orthodox to old level of hiring also. So the customers also been expected because looking at how should I give the resources with the quality without going as a rejection. So people have been rejecting a lot of way. So to do that, we are also trying to make ourselves in the AI where, the culture fit, definitely it is not involved. No AI can be defined. And to be very honest on the, people-centric approach, definitely nobody will do it. But technical association, that will be able, AI can help us. But on that AI, it is a personal interaction. So it's going to be higher, has to be think on those lines with the questions where we used to be creating on the my organization, what I need. So there where we should utilize AI come emotions, then we should have a right hire to the organization.
Okay, thank you, Raghavendra. So next question, Bhagsri. So how you will make your product visible to your investors? Because this is the general problem. If you are going to investor, they will ask, who is your competitor, right? Because you have to come up with that criteria as well. So how we should pitch as a startup founder?
Okay, so very right question to ask because competition plays vital role. And when you design the product, when you address that pain point, what is the pain point you are addressing, right? If you think there is already competition in the product, or are you the niche product in the industry, or you are the first person getting into that domain person, right? I'll give the example of Canva. So when Canva came in, so that's what the startup, right? But they were addressing had a unique pain point. Ki non-designer also can become the designer. So there was no competition there with the designer. There were the designer tools as well, but they had a unique value proposition. Ki anybody can design, designer also, non-designer also. So that USP was designed in that way, right? So that's the reason there was no competition and there was a growth potential, right? So suppose I say I'm in EdTech, and EdTech is too much. There are quite a brands in EdTech, but in EdTech, if you say I have come from the quantum, I'm giving this, there is a huge potential in coming years in quantum, and I'm specifically addressing that, and this is the value I'm bringing in because that's a niche skill again. So that's the way you show the value and your USP to the investor. So definitely, it's an urgency to the investor then. So you have to create the urgency to the investor, how unique you are. And that's the way, because you are in startups, so you can't have the big branding done and all those things. That doesn't matter also. But how unique you are addressing the problem, why you and why you now, that is very important. And when you do that, so funding is your baby.
Okay, thank you, Bhagsiri. So, Srini, there was a one common problem whenever you are creating any product, right? There will be the two things. One was the features, right, and other thing was the innovations. So, according to you, how do you ensure customer feedback and tech-driven innovation stay aligned?
Okay. So first of all, we need to define what is innovation. Okay. So innovation is not something that you're creating something new. It can also mean that you are improving the existing solution, right? In a different way. Okay. With the, you can say the differentiator factor, right? Okay. So now I'll tell you, see, Ola did not invent any cars, right? The transportation was already there. Car was already there, right? They invented the business model around it. Same goes with the Uber, right? So how you're solving the problem, it is very important, and that is how we can talk about the innovation, right? So this is how the innovation works, right? Okay. So I think if it answers your question, if I think that covers it.
Yeah, that's nice, I think. So I am adding one questions from the Arun. What are all other perspective like legal compliances, etc., especially company registration? As a founder, we need to be aware and taken care of. So Raghavendra, so actually Arun was, I think, asking for what was the area where we should focus as part of compliance and legal. So can you just focus on that?
Yeah. See, initially, any organization to start, I think definitely it is a company registration that has to be done, right? Once we done with the registration, this connected with the, PAN, maybe PAN, TAN of the company, which has to be procured, right? So we have a limit of the GST, which will be the, up to 40 and based on the state also. So 40 lakh, whether billing has to be done, post that only can be registered, or some customer ask well in advance, right? Without GST, we will not able to deliver their requirement. Then I think we can able to go up to the next level of maybe we can go and register ourselves with the GST department also. So later stages it will come in the when it is the labor law related. So maybe in the initially we have to have a shopson establishment when there is a professional tax which has to be registration has to be done. So then it will coming again with the, once you start scaling up the, maybe 10 people, then you have to go with the ESIC, if there is somebody in the ESIC level. So then after 20 employees, you should go to the provident fund. So post that you will be having, again, you wanted to receive the payment in advance with the large player, then you have to go to the MSME registration. So these are all very basic requirement of the any organization to take off to start their operations. So starting operation, company incorporation, PAN is and bank account is most enough, but to scale in the certain level where to take the business with the enterprise customer, these are all mandatory registration to get it. Right. I hope I answered most of the point. If anything is there where I can able to connect and I can help.
Yes. So I think this was the last questions, I think, from each speaker. So what will be the one last thing you will tell about product, people, and pitch, which will be at least audience can think about after this session where they have to focus? So Raghavendra, maybe you can start from the people perspective.
Yeah. People, again, I don't want to say HR is only the people, right? The people is one of the area of the recruitment, if I say the right people, but HR is the overall from the start the organization, building the culture, following the statutory registrations or maybe statutory requirement to be fulfilled the governance. Then you get into the hiring the people. So I believe HR is not only the people; it will have that other regulatory of aspects which is going to be help your organization. So I say people centric with the statutory obligations which we have to be ensured to be reach out.
Okay, so Srini, what about the product?
Okay. For the product, it's very important that, like I mentioned before as well, that we need to focus on what exactly we're trying to solve. Okay, that is very important rather than focusing on the features. Okay, feature is just the bells and whistles of the product. Okay, we should be focusing more on the problem statement, what we're solving for, and that should be the center of the attraction for the products. And to drive that, technology should be the foundation. Okay, so technology, we can't ignore that. That is going to be today and tomorrow as well. Okay, so adoption of the technology, focusing on the right problem is very important.
Okay, thank you. And Bhagsiri, what about the pitch? You are in mute.
You are on mute.
Yeah. So as I rightly said, pain point, it matters a lot, right? So why you? Why now? And with trust, tenacity, and traction, and believe in your vision. So don't get away from that, what you believe in. Yes.
Thank you. So I think we have a 5 minutes for the audience questions. So it is open for floor. We can take at least maximum 1 or 2 questions. So anyone can start. If it's better you raise the hand. Arun, Sadik, I think. Yeah, Prashant.
Hi guys, good afternoon. My question is about, suppose a guy is just finished the college at the age of 21, he will be having no connections with the industry. He will be able to get his first investor. I mean, how to get the investors at first, since he is having no network in the industry?
Okay, can I take that question?
Yes.
Prashant? Okay, Prashant, so I wanted to ask you, since you're looking for the investor, have you built something to show to the investor? That is the first question. Are you solving some of the problems?
No, I'm actually studying in final year. I'm trying to build some product while I'm trying to finish the college.
Okay, so first build the product, okay, at least for the MVP stage, right? And identify the problem, create a confidence, okay, that this is something that you can solve, okay, around the prototype itself, and then you look for the investor. Now to get an investor's attention is very important for you, right? And how you can find it. So there are many communities available, right? There are regional level, you can say, campaigns available from the state government. We have the government initiative from the national, you can say, organization as well, right? So there are a lot of, you can say, community available which you can join, okay, in your nearby location. At the same time, you have a multiple applications, right? Meetups, Eventbrite, okay. You can join those community, and how you can reach out to the investor. And you also have the LinkedIn, correct? So you need to build first something around it first, and then you can create the network. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Srini. Yeah, Sadik, second you.
Yeah, this question is for Raghav. So Raghav, what I saw is like most of the startup start as a part-time, okay, and they face a lot of challenges in terms of onboarding the people, and they miserably fail because of they start with students, not with the professional approach. So what's your view on this?
The part-time, I'm not able to, I'm not favor for that part-time, right? See, if somebody is wanted to be really the focus to do it, it is a full-time, and getting the people on the core job, definitely not for the part-time activity. If it has to be in a full-time, I know the cost constraint, but my vision should not be, vision should not be compromised because of cost, but I can say. So I believe in this case where we have a lot of organizations will work with very, based on specific skill set, which are, if they can give the better deliver on the startup side also. So I can say part-time may not able to, help on this space.
Yeah, thank you.
Arun, I think third you have your hands up.
Yeah, maybe this is towards Srini on tech side. So you mentioned like 1 to 10, we will not be looking into the scale. That's what I understood. And then maybe 10 to 100, we have to, really have to look into the scale aspects, right? And that is surely required. But let's say when we start with, kind of a normal, because of speed requirement, we'll not be looking at the scale aspect because that may be an over engineering at that point of time. But when we go to 10 to 100, we really require the scaling. But will that be an overkill at that point of time? How do we handle or maybe manage these situations? Like, what is your experience? Okay. How do you do it?
Okay. So scale is not on the 10 to 100 only. It is also in the 1 to 10. Okay. So 0 to 1 is something I was talking about, where you're looking for the speed. Okay. So where you are just testing the idea. So in that case, you can, I'm not saying ignore that, but at the same time, think about it. Okay. Now your question is about how you can ignore, I mean, what was your question again so that I can understand
Yeah,
better?
so in the initial days, if we are not looking on the scale aspect, that was, but I think
Yeah,
you
yeah.
answered, like we need to look into that one,
Yeah,
but we not be
correct.
working on it. Right? Okay.
Exactly. You need to take care of all those things beforehand. Okay. It's not that you are executing on that front. Okay. But at least you should focus on that in a way that you are keeping that in mind. That's something we have to scale. But at the same time, it should be disposable, flexible, and agile as well. That is important.
Okay.
Okay.
So we might keep,
Otherwise, yeah.
we might
Otherwise, you will be lost somewhere chasing
Yeah.
something. That will be the problem. And at the same time, you will over engineer, and then you will spend more time on fixing those issues.
True.
That is the problem, right? Because when you over engineer something, right, there are a lot of people coming into the picture, right, just to break that. So that we have seen it many a time. What happens is in 0 to 1 journey, we have seen it. I've been working with founders, right? For time being, what they do is they go with some of the tools available in the market, which you should be using it. But at the same time, keeping the scale in mind is also very important. You should have all the track record. Okay, so this is something that we'll be using only for the 1 week. Okay, and this will dismantle it and will build it again, because that is the learning from it, right? And that is something that we'll be focusing only for the MVP stage. And MVP stage, I'm not talking about that only for 1 week or 2 weeks. It can be a stretch for 3 to 4 months as well. Some of the products need that level of focus for the MVP development as well. But for that process, you should not be only focusing on the AI tools or something like that, right? There you need to focus on the scale, but the foundation level only, not execution level.
Yeah.
Understood.
So
Thank you.
I think
Thank
we have reached the time. We can take at least one more question and then we can close after that, because 12:30 is already done. So yes, I think it will be the last question. Do you have any questions still? Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Yes. So I'm Yash here, and it's such a nice insight from all of you. My question is like, coming from the engineering background and go domain into the deep tech startup, how the other corporate management role come into this point? Because me and my team is not much into that management role. So at a higher level hierarchy, how can we follow up with that? I mean, with technicality expertise.
Okay. So you talked about management, right? Can I take that question? Because he's
Yeah.
from engineering and I'm from engineering. So I think
Yeah,
we can
please.
relate. Yeah, yes. So I think you're working on the deep tech startup, right? That's what I heard, right? So what
Yes,
are you
correct.
working on? What are the problem statement you're
So
solving?
So basically, in currently in industry, like in aviation, I'm completely from aviation. I mean sector, and what I see is like people are not directly connecting with the how aviation practically works on paper, and
Okay.
it's how it is working. But in a skill level, there's no. And what I want to say is, not everyone want to do research and PhD in a higher studies. But on paper,
Correct.
in a skill sector and industry, they don't get this hands-on experience. So what we are building is we are building our drone kits, which are different kind of add-ons, so that they can
Okay.
understand. Okay, drones is not only for flying; there is a different application, and they can understand. So for that also we are building everything in-house. This is like our vision, and we are also, I mean, brain part of drone is flight controller. So we are building from our side completely in-house from scratch, so that we can also adapt in every drone kit and add-ons that we want to do. So in
Okay.
industry, universities and higher secondary school, they can know about in a practical way, not that theoretical.
Got it. So, yes,
Yeah.
this sector is completely regulated. Okay. And there is
Yes.
a compliance to be followed for this. Okay. So you need
Mm-hmm.
some seniors who can guide you in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is not
Okay.
just about the you can say hiring somebody who's from the management. Okay. You need somebody
Mm-hmm.
who has the experience of regulation and compliances for the drone technology. Okay. So you
Okay.
need to find those people, get in touch with those people. Okay, who are there on the higher side of thing, wherein ministry is also involved. Okay, so you need
Okay.
to find
Yes.
those kind of people who have those level of touch. Okay, so but you will get them only when you are connecting them or finding doing some research about them. Okay, so it is not something
Mm-hmm.
that come to you, because deep tech is something that government is promoting now, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I think there are many communities available. You should join that. That is something I would say.
Okay. Got
Okay,
it.
because otherwise what will happen is, see, drone technology is completely regulated. So whatever you're building, okay, should come under the
Yes.
compliances, right? So
Correct.
if you build something and it is not accepted in the market and by the government, that is a big challenge for you in that case,
Yes, I agree.
right?
Okay.
So you can
Yes.
save a lot of time here.
Yes. So you are, if I'm not wrong, I understood like you are saying someone is on higher expertise connected with the ministry so that we can get the updates so that we can follow on,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
At the same time, not
Someone.
only a ministry, I'm just giving you one of the example. I mean, there are
Yes.
many people
Okay.
who are working on the drone industry. You can get in touch with them,
Yes.
join their community, right? Get an idea what they are
Mhm.
building, how they are getting things done, all of this.
Okay.
So
Got
that
it.
you know the
Yeah,
reality, ground reality.
yeah. So yes, I
Got it.
think as you're coming from the drone background, right? So there are the multiple institute and even IIT Kanpur is working on the drone sector, right? So even you can explore their incubation
Yeah.
center. They are
Incubation
even
center, correct.
Okay.
funding, yeah, funding for multiple thing, even for quantum AI, 5G, and drone technology.
Yes.
So you can explore and check on that site. So it will be really helpful. And even it was happy to see like from this is coming from the student sides, and we are trying to help
Yeah.
from even from CTO community to at least advise the thing for the few specific topic, which is really helpful from the experience, right? So
Okay.
we have a few students who is working on research and innovations by guidance of the few experts on the other technology,
Mhm.
not a specific drone. Mostly we are focusing on AI, quantum, and cyber security as of now. But I
Okay.
think that is just the insights. If anyone want, I have added the official email ID as well. Put up the email, and then maybe we can link and map with the correct advisor. Because directly we can't
Mhm.
give who will be there. Okay,
Got
even
it.
we don't know based on skills only we are finding from our community if anyone can help you. Okay, so I think closing on that part, and it was hope it will be helpful for everyone who has joined today call, and it is just the first session we have tried especially dedicated to startups. Before that, as we told, we were running for the senior leaders and tech leaders, but going forward soon we will cover the other important topics which really startups need, even personal branding and as well as on the official branding, right? Both matter. So going forward we are focusing on the different aspects where startup need also focus, not only on the technical part. So that is the thing. Raghvendra, Srini, and Bhagsri, I think thank you so much. I think we were, and Srini especially, I think we got, I think his ability in the last minute even yesterday. So thank you so much, Srini. You were, I think, coming via flight, what we got to know. But yeah, you joined. It was very insightful. And I think looking forward for another sessions, and we'll be in connect for that. Anyone, Prashant, Abhijit, Sadiq, you want to add? Otherwise, we are going to close.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, just from my side, like, thank you for all the sessions. It was really informative and useful. Maybe if something is, can we connect link it through LinkedIn or other ways?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
share all
definitely.
the details. I have all the LinkedIn connect, so that is the CTO community will share whoever need exact details. We are not mostly sharing everything in publicly. Few other groups till this time we have tried to share, so they will also get the insights what we are trying to do to filling the gap between the leadership startups and even the student startup, right? So that is the thing we are thinking. So Arun, we will connect with you. Anyway,
Yeah,
you are a part
I'll
of
talk to
our,
you.
he is a one member of our CTO community, and we are from the IT Kanpur CTO batch. So
Cool.
we'll connect. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you. I think.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. It's such an insightful session.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, Raghavendra. Bye,
Thank you.
Bhagyashree.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Richa.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Prashanta.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great weekend, guys. Thank
Stay
you.
in
Thank
touch.
you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Yeah. We'll connect with each one
Yeah,
of
yeah,
you.
sure.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah.
Thanks. Bye. I'm stopping the recording.